Hey guys, welcome to the Shack. This is episode 12. I'm LT.
I'm Nick.
We don't know who you're pointing at.
For those of you who don't know, we are still sequestered because of the COVID-19. So I pointed out the computer monitor thinking one of them would start talking. They did not.
Hey, I did. I
I
jumped in there. It was just a long pause.
Right on.
Dramatic.
Well, I'm still LT.
And I'm still
I'm
Nick.
Scooter.
I'm Sam.
I'm Mike.
So the gang is all here. Technically,
Wow.
we're all here. We're all at all different
not
places.
there.
So for you guys who are listening in on the podcast, we are just kind of hanging out at the house. Nice sunny afternoon. Kind of figuring out, hey, what are we going to do? What are we going to do next? Watching the world come back together. Hopefully get back to work pretty soon. But we wanted to bring you a podcast and let you know what we do when we have a little free time, because it seems like we have a little more than a little right now. And we got, so we're going to come with we got a really cool show for you today. But remember, the Shack is brought to you by LT Wright Knives. And we really am happy that you guys continue to support us and buy our knives. Remember that you can listen to this on Spotify and everything Mike will tell you about later. And you can also check us out on YouTube. And you can see that big king chair Scott's sitting in with all those survival books behind him, so that if the world comes to an end, he has the books. So that's good. We're all good to go.
Correctamundo.
Right on. So, hey, what have you guys been up to, like with nothing going on? I mean, let's start with Sammy.
Starting with me, what have I been up to?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to tell them? I don't know.
I think
I
you're
snuck
okay.
away to the cabin. I went
But you
down
were
to the
social
cabin for the
distancing
weekend.
there.
It's social distancing. You're good. All
Had
right.
some time without cell coverage or internet or TV, and it was awesome.
Right on. That sounds
Dig it.
good. Nick, what have you been doing?
I've been experimenting with baking bread the last couple days.
What?
I finished a couple of my big projects outside. A couple things I wanted to do in the house, so I thought I'd try it. It's something I wanted to do, and so I'm on my third or fourth batch. Everything's turned out pretty good. So,
Now, is this with a bread
Nice.
machine, or what are you doing?
nope, regular by hand. We had everything here, so I didn't have to buy anything. It was just a question of picking a recipe and giving it a shot. And I've worked through a few so far. This last one I found on a website called, I think, Taste of Home. And they've been turning out really good. We had some nice jellies and stuff to go with them. So, yep, just
That
doing
sounds
that.
great, man.
Yeah, it makes the house smell really good.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, but now, you've been eating a lot of bread. That means you're putting butter and jam on it. You probably gained 5 pounds.
Yeah, worth it.
Okay.
But I'm going to be seeing my folks hopefully in the near future. I want to take some over to them.
Roger that. Sounds good.
Cool.
Mikey, what have you been up to, Mikey?
Been making a lot of brownies lately, and
Oh,
Laura and
my
I,
5 or 10. He's put on 15 or 20.
Laura and I have been experimenting with different casserole recipes.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
So like real simple,
Stuffed
like
pepper casserole.
5 ingredient casserole recipes.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
You should have the Land Rover roof completely painted and polished.
No, because it has been raining or high winds here every single day for like a week and a half. So
What about Land Rover roof casserole?
maybe.
That might be a thing we can figure out. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. All right, Scott, what have you been doing?
We have been cooking all the meals in the kitchen. I've been tinkering in the garage, organizing tools, but status quo, taking care of Mom, keeping over there that you can't see, keeping the survival shelf stocked,
Oh, right on.
playing with the dogs.
Sounds like a good plan. Well, Elaine and I have, naturally we're still working, I'm still working from the sunroom and she's still working from her upstairs bedroom, so we're social distancing. That's kind of fun. But we, last Saturday, we made noodles from scratch.
Cool.
We have a
Nice.
noodle making machine, so we made some noodles. This weekend we're planning on making some meatloaf, and tonight she's making cornbread, most likely in a cast iron skillet, because we have some maple bacon jelly that we were gifted that we will be putting on that tonight. So we've been doing a little bit of that. A little house project.
I'll be over.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was telling her. Is like, what? We're having cornbread and maple bacon jelly? Sign me up. Yeah,
Nice.
for sure.
I love
But
homemade cornbread.
You know, the staying home thing is, I mean, it's bad for the people that are sick, and God bless them. Hope they get well. But we have been eating a lot more at home, fixing meals, even lunch-wise. You know, my lunches have been a lot different. Matter of fact, I had ground beef and rice in a wrap today for lunch, which I would not have if we, were at the shop. So my eating habits have changed. I have cleaned out the old shop under the.
I saw the
porch.
pictures. That's exciting.
Yeah, man, I found some stuff. Got the eBay and
New traded blanket stuff.
I got trading stuff. I had eBay stuff going on. Man, I'll tell you, we got the basement cleaned out, organized clothes. It's just it's one of those things. But the funny thing is, you always hear those retired guys go, "I don't know how I found time to do anything when I work," or because I'm so busy now that I've retired. I don't know how I got anything done when I was working. Kind of the same thing, man. I swear, I get up. And we're both right after supper. It's like, where the heck did the day go? By the time we get our computer stuff done, she's still doing packing, shipping. She'll lay out knives for me to box, oil, and do all that stuff. And I do that. And we tend to the pout house and just, the regular internet stuff. And then the chores after work. And it's like, gosh darn, this is, I'm just busier. It's like, I got to go back to work to get some rest. So I don't know. But no, it's not been too terrible. I was thinking, I'm going to hate it.
Whoa.
But not.
I was going to eat somebody.
So that's,
it's the mailman.
Yeah, no, we've done a lot of the home cooking thing. Reorganized pantries. Heck, we have even broke into some of our MREs and turned them into real meals. Like, take the MRE apart, and she'll add stuff to it, and we microwave it and cook it. It was like, hey, let's try these things. We've opened up some of our long-term food storage, like our 5-year, 25-year stuff. Big can of the Mountain House, all the bacon, egg, breakfast, potatoes.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
You add water, and that was a pretty good thing. Matter of fact, I've had that on wraps multiple days. That's going to be supper again one night this week. So we're playing with some of those things and just enjoying a good time of, little time at home. So no problems there.
Cool.
So I have definitely been enjoying that. So, but we do have a show planned today. And Sammy, what was our, because again, we know you guys are like us. You're kind of at home wondering, hey, man, what am I going to do? And other than spending time with us, we appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. Sammy, what kind of what kind of show do we have planned for today?
We're going to go around the room here and talk about what we like to watch on TV or YouTube or
even
whatever.
Podcasts, right?
Sure, yeah, podcast.
Listen to podcasts, YouTube, TV. See how each one of us watch TV and what we're doing. That's a good plan. I like that because they may be surprised by some of the answers.
Or they'll know that we all watch the Australian 4-wheel drive channel.
We just got that out of the way right there.
We're
good.
Not me.
All the other ones.
But I probably would enjoy it.
Well, I can promise everyone present that Sam watches it first. Because he wakes up at 4:30 in the morning when his alarm goes off, the alert that says the Aussies have and he watches it.
I've watched it before you've gotten the email that says they put it out.
Whoa,
he's
that's
like
impressive.
a VIP member, so yeah, he's got that. So hey,
they have a word for that. It's called stalker. So maybe someone should let the Australian authorities know so that.
I think because there's a dateline involved, it's not a crime.
Yeah. It's funny. Like I'll get a text from him and Grant or Andy. It's like, hey, the new Aussie video's out, and Sam will be like, old news, Grant. And it'll be like, what?
Saw it, commented, done.
6 hours ago. Where have you been? Just the alert just came through. Well, you're not on the inside.
He's dedicated. That's all. He's dedicated.
So, who is starting this show?
That
I
guy.
will.
Scott got it. So, Scott, you're going to tell us about you're sequestered or stay-at-home orders, whatever, and you got all this free time. What you been doing video-wise or listening to? What do you got going on?
Okay. You will have to cut me off after a certain time because I have a lot of subscriptions on YouTube. But I will go over
I was
the
about to say,
highlights.
you're just going to read off your YouTube list, aren't you?
I am. Oh, I definitely am.
You
So
better
if-
not be
That
sitting
works.
in front of the video screen for 23 out of 24 hours watching YouTube videos.
No, I'm not.
Okay. 22 hours.
Yeah, whatever. And if these happen to be in alphabetical order, well, that's how the list is. Okay. So
That's convenient.
I'm not going to go over every single one because I was perusing the list here before the show. I'm like, I obviously am subscribed to, that page, but I don't remember last time I looked at it. So there must have been at least one video I liked, but a majority of these are ones that I watch all the videos, or try to anyway.
All right.
Okay, at the very first top of the list is 420 Motors. That is a YouTube channel of a bunch of guys with no, not that kind of channel.
Mike knew what I was talking about.
That was yesterday, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man,
Listen,
yesterday.
For 2020.
Talking about the date lines and the time and all that, man.
No.
So not that kind of four-wheeling, huh? Okay.
No. This is mid-sized truck guys, and they typically go on trips. So far I've seen in Mexico or Baja,
Trips
and
in
there's usually a
Mexico.
Tacoma. There's some mid-sized
Or
Chevys.
full
There's a couple.
circle.
If you want to see the new, like one of the new Chevy Colorados with a diesel getting the snot beat out of it, whooping through the desert, that's a good channel to watch.
Nice.
Or the guy with the Tacoma whooping up on that. Or there's also some full-size rigs in there. It's pretty entertaining.
Dig it.
Next in the list, 4WD Action out of Australia. Honey, how about
I have a
that?
question.
Ready to go.
Are they all car channels?
No. Would
Okay.
you wait a minute, LT?
I'm just curious. I'm just
Whoa.
curious. If I
right
can like
here.
tune out and go do some dishes or something,
No.
I'll be back.
Now for you, Mr. Nick, because you just said, I'm making bread. If you watch 4WD Action,
Don't
I
knife
can't help-
hand me.
I'm sorry. Yeah. A majority of their videos, in about the middle of the video, they
Mhm.
make dinner. So this is camp
Ooh.
cooking, field cooking.
Yeah.
Shawno and Graham whip up some crazy meals. Typically, there's
Very
beer
cool.
involved and some tubular meats, an open fire. Sometimes where they're on a stove thing.
Yep.
That's
Gotcha.
entertaining. First few times I watch, I'm like, "What's this cooking?" Fast forward, it's hilarious. So
Nice.
you get to see some
Cool.
cool trails. You get to laugh when they're cooking stuff and stealing each other's beers, and then go back to
Yeah.
foiling. So
and the recipes, I will admit, the recipes are like, hey, I would like that. Hey, we ought to try that.
oh yeah,
All right. What was
Yeah.
that one called again? I'll check it out.
4WD Action.
4WD Action.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
I'm gonna start making another list here of things to try.
There's their little like header picture.
Got it.
Have you seen all of their videos, Scott?
I'm sure I missed some here and there, but I have seen a bunch.
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam
sorry,
just starts
Sam.
over at the
I
beginning.
don't have the membership card and a T-shirt like you do. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, next on the list, the highlight would be Alucab, which is the
Okay.
company that makes the canopies and
Yeah.
the big awnings and stuff out of South Africa. And
Yeah.
lately they have had the Shadow On, that's their 270-degree awning, the Shadow On challenge where people were opening their awnings and submitting videos. Those are kind of funny. ARB 4x4, bumpers and suspension, ARB 4x4 USA, a little bit different, but basically the same. I'm trying to find some non-car ones for you, Nick. Hang on.
That's okay. No, that's okay. I'm gonna have. I guarantee my list has 0 car things, so
Okay, well,
we'll balance
is-
out.
this is not car, but sort of. Blue Ridge Overland Gear. I watch all their videos.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Uh,
The guys from Broad.
Yep, for
Sam,
sure.
have
Watch
you
all their
ever been
videos.
in any of their videos? Sam. Sam.
Passing.
Art to Sam.
Oh, he was frozen. He's back now.
There was
What?
nothing. You were like this. You were like,
I even
That's it.
answered your question.
Buffering.
Ready?
Yeah.
go ahead.
Let me
We're
try
ready.
this
We
one
can
more
hear you
time.
now.
I may have been in a video like in passing, but never on purpose.
Gotcha.
Grant has
Curious.
been in a video though.
Yeah, Grant for sure. Yeah. Okay, another one is Boss Laser because we have the Boss Laser machine.
Right.
Kind of keep up on that. Oh, let's see here. County Com.
Oh,
They have an interesting YouTube channel with a lot of
near and dear
really
to my
cool-
heart.
a lot of EDC gear on there. That's pretty cool. Oh, let's see here. Dirt Nation Off Road. Which let me click on them. Make sure I'm telling you right. That is the guy with the Tacoma, and he is typically on the 420 Motors filming, but not always. He has a pretty good YouTube channel too.
What is it? Dirt Nation? Now, see, that's one I'm not familiar with.
All one word. Dirt Nation
Okay.
Off Road.
They have some of
Yeah.
our knives, Dirt Nation.
Oh, right on.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Okay. Didn't know. Oh, let's see here. Fowler's Makery and Mischief. That is
Fowler's
let me-
Makery and Mischief. I've never heard of that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Nick,
Yeah.
look at the screen, buddy.
Sorry, I was writing a note down for it. Okay. Oh, I've watched his videos. Yeah. Yeah, he has a bunch of cool ones about slingshot shooting and all that stuff. He was on Alone.
Yes.
I
But he
gotcha.
also did some videos of him building up a Subaru Crosstrek with us. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I know
Cool.
more car stuff.
That's okay.
Hickok 45. How can you not watch Hickok 45?
I'll take him off my list so we don't have to talk about him again.
Gun reviews, just awesome stuff here if you enjoy guns. Jay Leno's
I-
Garage.
Sorry, I've been watching
Go ahead.
Hick 45 since I remember like Mike showing me how to use YouTube.
He's a cool
Yep.
dude.
When
He's a
I,
cool dude.
back a number of years ago, like if you would click in, let's say I was looking for a lever gun in 3030, his videos were very much at the top of your searches a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind
He
of
still
fell
is
into it.
for new guns and stuff.
And then I got to meet him at an NRA show a number of years ago. And it was funny because I used to have, like his videos were about 30 minutes-ish. And I would on Sundays go get showered and wait on a lane for church and stuff. And I always had like Sunday morning coffee with Hickok 45. So when I saw him at the NRA show, I geeked out a little bit. Like, hey,
Nice.
every Sunday, you may
I
not
totally
know
would
this,
too.
but you and I have coffee every Sunday morning.
That's not creepy.
That's less
cool.
creepy than the Sam thing. Just saying.
Well, okay.
Wow.
Sorry,
I
Sam.
guess.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but I agree with Scott, man. His stuff, good stuff.
Yeah, excellent. If you're looking to buy a gun, why he probably has reviewed it and shot the heck out of it. Go look at
And
his videos.
he's a phenomenal shot, open sights. Oh my God.
And
Oh,
he
yeah.
has a super cool range.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yes.
if you like shooting and gun ranges and stuff, the way he has his set up is really,
No
it's one of those places you want to go shoot.
No
for
doubt.
sure.
No doubt.
I would never be able to hit the gong, but I would like to shoot there. Too far away.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
You are a zombie killing champion.
That's
well,
true.
this is true. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess. This is
yeah.
true. Okay, the next one I had on there was Jay Leno's Garage. He always has interesting videos, car stuff, of course. Let me zip through a few more here. Oh, that's car. Mainline Overland. I look at their videos. Those guys are based out of PA and New Hampshire, I think. They have an off-road specking shop and a bunch of different videos. More car stuff. Sorry, Nick.
That's okay. Hey, no, that is
find-
totally okay, bud.
Let me
They build
find
vans,
another
though.
one. They do all kind of neat stuff. Nitro gear. I've been interested in that lately, just for information on re-gearing the truck. So Nitro gear is a real good YouTube video. Norweld. Those are the guys out of Australia that make the tray backs and the big canopies for the back of your midsize or full-size truck. Those are
You mean
interesting.
Sammy's new
Yeah.
truck bed?
Yep.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay. Yeah. I guess a lot of these are car-oriented, Nick. I'm sorry.
No, I'm telling you, man, we'll balance out just fine. It'll be okay.
Okay, this is another car one, but it's a lot of vintage stuff. They're always filmed very well. Petrolicious. Really
Good name.
cool. There's some Rover stuff. There's some like Porsche stuff. They're really good, very well shot videos. Oh, let's see here. That's more car stuff. Ride BDR. That is motorcycle dual sport stuff. Even though I don't have one anymore, the videos are really cool. The BDR they have some different trips set up. There's a Mid-Atlantic BDR, which goes through Pennsylvania, West Virginia, up into New York. They, I think, have just started a new video series of the NE BDR, which is the Northeast, up through like Massachusetts and whatnot. Those are killer videos. I just posted one of those on my Facebook page. Here is a good newer one I ran into called Rockology. And this guy does videos on mainly Elvis stuff, but other history of music kind of things. Like this latest video is Elvis slept here, Clinton, Oklahoma, Route 66. Usually it's pretty good videos.
Very good.
I've seen him interview a guy who is the current owner of one of the Cadillacs that Elvis used to own or gave away or something. They're pretty interesting. I like those. That's a car. That's a truck stuff. That's more truck stuff. Okay, that's a car. Star Wars. Got to have a Star Wars YouTube channel on there.
Well, what was that one that you told me about that time? It was Sports Wars or something like that? Or was that just a podcast?
That was a podcast.
Oh, that one you turned me on to from the Skywalker Ranch or something? Remember that one you told?
That was pretty cool.
Well, I was about to say Strange Planet.
Ah.
And that might have had something that you were talking about, LT.
Okay.
Strange Planet is with Richard Serrett out of Canada. He has a podcast. He also puts them on YouTube. Those are always quite interesting. Super Winch. I've never had a problem with a Super Winch brand winch. I like their stuff. Let's see here. What else? More car stuff. Oh, TFL Off-Road. TFL has a bunch of YouTube channels. The Fast Lane Truck, the Fast Lane Car, TFL Off-Road, TFL Now. Those guys they review vehicles. They test them in different ways. They got a really cool setup for off-roading, some on-road stuff. Those are kind of cool. The Oz Tent group out of another Australian company. They make killer tents. Right. They got some neat videos.
And chairs.
And chairs and cots and all kind of stuff. That's a truck thing. I'm getting toward the end here. Victory 4x4, company I got my front bumper off of. Daryl and those guys have an awesome YouTube channel. Very informative. Whether you're installing one of their car parts or not, you could very well gain something from it. It's Victory 4x4. These videos are long, and it has to do with the ShopBot. ShopBot is another one. But Vectric Limited out of the UK, they often have how-to videos, and they show the screen of the ShopBot, the VCarve Pro software, and then they show them carving it on the machine. I usually get some good ideas off of those guys. Watch Geek. There's a few different watch video YouTube channels on here. The Urban Gentry is a very good one. You should check that one out, Nick.
I will. Urban Gentry.
Yep. He's British, but he's here in America. He's some kind of videographer or edits videos, so his videos are pretty polished and professional.
That's cool.
And let's see. I would say that there's a couple small ones. Welding tips and tricks. That guy has a really cool welding YouTube channel. Lots of good MIG welding and stick welding and whatnot. Different things there. Those are the highlights, though. That's about it.
Very car centered, I see.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's
not many. There are some knife YouTube channels on here, but I get a lot of current knife info from Facebook or an email here or there.
Right.
So I do keep up on a bunch of that stuff too. But this is like out of work hobby stuff, you know.
Sure.
Now you
Cool.
did mention podcast at the last minute there. I'm probably taking up way too much time here, and I'll just mention one podcast, and it is
Not
that
an
guy
A-Rush.
Richard Serrett. He has two. There's the Conspiracy Unlimited. That's the one he kind of films in his basement. And then the other one is the Conspiracy Show.
Wait a minute, back up. A conspiracy podcast that's recorded in a basement.
That's
Under
the
his-
only place to record one.
He says from my
That's
studio
the
to
only
stairs.
place. It's safe.
Is it at least his mother's basement?
No.
Oh.
Didn't you see the movie Arrival? Bad things happen if you try to do that kind of stuff in an attic.
Oh, I know.
Do it in the basement. It's safe.
Now that I'm looking through real quick, a couple more
I do
podcasts.
listen. I
Do you?
listen
Yeah, I
to
know you do.
the show now and then. It's good. He is well researched in this
Yeah.
stuff. Very good. I enjoy him.
Yep.
I-
Good speaker. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's doesn't seem like a wackadoodle. He's
Matter of
pretty
fact,
sharp. I like him.
Rock and roll Twilight Zone. He only
Yeah.
did I don't know 8 or 10 episodes, but man,
Like
were
one
they good.
season.
Oh,
No, they're awesome.
they're
I think
great.
they're still up. I think those are still
I
up. The Rock
believe
and Roll
so,
Twilight
yeah.
They're
Zone.
making new ones, but I think they're up. Right.
Yeah, him. The guy who was his co-host passed away,
Right.
so I weren't able to do a second season. But another one I listen to all the time is the Confessionals podcast, and that is with oh man,
Tony Merkel.
Tony Merkel. Yeah, correct. Thank you, LT.
Good answer. Good
And
answer.
He now has Hammer Lane Legends also, which me being a former truck driver, I like those podcasts too.
There you have it.
Those are good. Those can take up the time through my day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that was long winded, but
Not at
okay.
all. No,
No,
not
that's
at
okay.
all.
about that.
Again,
That's what we're here to talk
you're
about.
you're giving us ideas on how to spend our time too, because again, just like you, when you get to my list, I'm going to just have to skim the top because I got a lot of stuff saved.
Here is 1, 2, 3. This is the top 4 on the that came up under Listen Now. Conspiracy Unlimited, Echoes of Adventure with Dean, Hammer Lane Legends, and another one called Ear Hustle.
Hmm.
Ear Hustle it still is mainly, but the one guy got let free. It is a podcast that is recorded in San Quentin. And not to really intermix the two, but when I was truck driving, you wouldn't know unless you're truck driving, that is its own lifestyle with its own sort of everything.
Truck
Language,
driving. Oh, yeah.
dress, how you operate your day, sleeping in the truck, all kind of wacky stuff. This Ear Hustle podcast, being out of a prison, very similar. It has its own everything, lingo, how to act. Not that I'm looking forward to going to be incarcerated or anything, but it's just an interesting. You'd never hear of any of this stuff otherwise. Just kind of interesting.
What was it called again? What hustle?
Ear Hustle.
Ear hustle.
Ear.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
Just
right.
some
That sounds
weird stuff. Okay, that's all.
that's good stuff. No, I know you could go on, but we got to get to everybody else real quick. Who wants to follow that? Who's following that? Nick?
I'll jump in there. Sure.
Okay. So what have you been spending your time on viewing, listening to? What do you want to call it?
Well, for me, it's primarily, like Scott, it's YouTube. I have Amazon Prime, so Prime Video, and at the shop, I listen to Audible almost all day long. If I'm not listening to a podcast, I'm listening to a book. So thankfully, that's something that I've still been able to do at home. So when I'm working out in the yard or over in the kitchen there or whatever, doing whatever, I always have an earbud in and I'm listening to something. So Audible is probably my first choice. And while we've been in quarantine here, I went back and reread a series by Jack Carr, who, if you're not familiar with him, he's a former Navy SEAL. He's a wonderful writer. I highly recommend his books. The first one is called The Terminal List in the James Reese series. Just really great books. Very attention grabbing, not overly dramatic, but still thrilling for sure. So I really like those. On YouTube, I have a bunch on there. And Scott, while he was talking about his stuff, he kept reminding me of different things as he was going down his list.
Right.
So I wrote down a bunch. So I don't know what order they're in because I'm recording this on my phone, so I can't look. But the ones that I know are my favorites that I always am happy to see a new video from, the Modern Rogues. If you haven't checked out their videos, it's two guys. They do some really cool stuff. They cover just about everything that you could think of in that category of modern rogue behavior. So they talk about drinking, shooting, hunting. It's a great channel, super fun, always entertaining. Cool. I really recommend that one. So they did an episode just recently about different cocktails that you could make while you were in quarantine, and if you had simple ingredients, you could do this stuff. And before that, they did an episode about internet security and, what browsers work best for, privacy and what the dark web is and all kinds of things like that. So it runs this whole spectrum of topips. So
LT, you're not allowed to watch that one because I don't want to have to answer the questions.
Don't want to get on the dark web.
I don't think so.
So, a couple product ones that I really like on YouTube, and yes, this is a shameless plug, and no, I'm not getting paid or rewarded in any way to mention these. Hill People Gear, if you haven't tried their products or seen their videos, they're excellent. Centerline Systems is a gentleman named Mark Lane out of Duluth, Minnesota. Makes a wonderful product, has a great YouTube channel and podcast.
What is the product?
It's soft goods. One of his best is called the Mother of All Canteen Carriers. So if you're familiar with the traditional Crusader canteen and cup and the pouch that they go into to go onto either Alice stuff or Molly gear, he makes that, but it's like the best possible version you could ever hope for. So that's one of his things. He does a tool roll. What else does he do? It's a bunch of other things. I highly recommend checking out his website. So let's see. Also, like I mentioned about the bread, I've been on a cooking kick, and Alton Brown has a really cool, exciting YouTube channel. You wouldn't think that food could be as fun as he makes it. Years and years ago, he had a show called Good Eats, and on his YouTube channel, he does Good Eats Reloaded. And he talks about the science of food, and I'd like to geek out over that. It's cool. So he's on the list. For music stuff, I like Justin Johnson, and LT I know knows who that is. If absolutely. You don't, and I don't know how would you categorize his sound?
He's very bluesy. I would say I'm kind of virtuoso kind of guy. I mean, he'll sit there and play slide. He'll detune his guitar in another tuning. He's just an absolute amazing. One of the coolest albums that he has done that I really like is like something about a spaghetti western. It's called Turquoise Trail. If you guys ever liked the music behind a Clint Eastwood movie from the 70s, that very spaghetti western. This whole album, am I right, Nick?
Yep. He made it that way. So it's like the intro all the way to the end credits.
It is so cool. It's just like listening to a spaghetti western. It is so
Is it like the country version of Dick Dale surf rock or surf music? Only a country...
maybe
a little bit. It's country so much as folksy, maybe.
It's worth a listen. It definitely... Justin Johnson, because he's actually one of the few I am subscribed to.
He's
great. I see he has a new one out. So.
And he pulls out interesting guitars and cool instruments. He had a shovel guitar on there the one day and
cigar box
cool stuff.
Skateboard lap steels. Yeah, he's cool.
Yep. Right. Another product channel, but the guy doesn't sell his product on his channel. He just uses it a lot. Is Firebox Stoves. And if you haven't checked that out, it's It's like it's a wood burning stove for camping, whether it's backpacking, hiking, car camping, overlanding, whatever. Really cool guy. He throws a lot of cool camping recipes on there that you can do with his simple little setup. Let's see what else for knife stuff. I don't actually watch a ton of knife videos. For news though, I like our buddy David C. Anderson from the Knife Center does a weekly release like new knife video.
Mhm.
I like that. I like talking to David, so it's fun to listen to him talk about new knives that come out.
And he does an excellent job on. He's very well spoken. He does great video work, no doubt.
Yep.
Yep.
So that covers a lot. Well, the only other one. Who did we mention in our last episode, or maybe the Virtual Knife Academy, about sharpening on the window? Who was
me?
Whose video? Yeah, whose video did you reference there, Scooter?
Mine.
I thought you did some. I thought you talked about somebody else.
For sharpening?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I don't know that I've seen anybody do that except in our video. Okay. I know people have done it. I mean, I read it somewhere, but
I could have swore there was somebody else, a Brit, that did that too. And it was another survivalist guy anyway. He did a video about making bread in a Dutch oven while camping. And that was what got me on this bread kit to begin with. So next time we go camping, I'm looking forward to making bread in the Dutch oven for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
I'm looking forward to testing it.
I always wanted to make bannock, just wrapped around a stick over the fire, but I never have.
Oh, we can try that.
I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
So that covers like all my YouTube stuff. And then on Amazon Prime, I am a total nerd. I like Star Trek. Every flavor of Star Trek except for the newest ones.
Uh-oh.
Those are no. They're not really Star Trek. So
that's a no.
So we vote those
Spoken
down.
like a true geek.
That's right. I just watched the movie Roadhouse a couple weeks ago. Now these other guys have all watched it and they all loved it. So
except Sam still hasn't seen
Sam,
it.
have you never watched Roadhouse?
Oh, geez.
You would like it.
This is a
enjoy
grown
it.
man who just got turned on to Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. Where have you been, son?
Be nice.
We grew
He was
up.
watching Star Trek, obviously.
Yeah.
I guarantee I know more about Star Trek than you guys.
Dalton was the man.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Plus, I love Sam Elliott, so it works out.
And Jeff Healey was in the cage playing guitar, man.
Yep. I bought the album that went with Roadhouse, by the way. It was awesome.
You're good.
Wow.
Let's see. What else? Sam knows what I'm going to bring up now.
Well, this could be two things.
Well, we're going to go with Letterkenny.
Okay.
So the other one is Burn Notice. When Sam and I are at the shop, we both like Burn Notice. It's a show about spies. It's long since done, but it was a great show. But Letterkenny, I know, is gaining a lot of popularity. But one that's not, it's Canadian comedy. So
it's not really funny.
That for what it's worth. Oh no, it is. It's hilarious. It's a little vulgar, which I don't care for sometimes, but it's hilarious. But right in that same vein, there was an old show from way back before my time, actually.
Barney Miller.
Called The Red Green Show.
The Red Green Show.
And it is also Canadian.
Yes.
And very much in a similar vein.
I used to watch Red Green at like midnight on Fridays on PBS when it was on.
If she doesn't find you handsome, she should at least find you handy. So I love that show. I love that. My wife actually.
Some of those are good. My buddy Mark turned me on to Red Green. He loves Red Green.
That pretty much covers it for me. There was one other. MCQ Bushcraft on YouTube. Another Brit. Wonderful guy. Very informative and knowledgeable. He did some cool truck build videos, which were fun. He's overlanded all across Scandinavia. And so.
Land Rover?
Very cool. I believe so.
Okay.
It's a truck, Nick said.
It got 4 wheels.
Yeah. I think it has an engine. And what was it called, Nick?
He didn't push it. MCQ Bushcraft. Yeah, I think that's about it for me.
Roger. No, that's good. That gives some good ideas of things that
I've
watching.
jotted down a few.
I like the fact that you still do a lot of audible stuff. I have just this past year kind of gotten into the audible. I used to listen to the free ones from LibriVox. You remember those?
Yep.
I listened
There's
to
a
lot of
new
books of
app
those.
called Libby where you can actually get audiobooks from the library. Very similar to that, though.
Okay, but I like Audible. I actually have I think I have 3 books on there now, and 2 of them I've listened to multiple times. Just
Cool.
really, really enjoy. That's one of those things. Like if I'm on the way to the farm or something, I got 2 hours and 15 minutes. Put it through the speakers, talk to Sam on the CB, and listen to one of my audio books. I just love doing that. That's a good time. I like that. All right, Sammy or Mike, who's next?
That one.
I guess I'll go.
Okay.
I'm going to start with my podcast since it's kind of a short list. Scott mentioned it earlier, Echoes of Adventure from our buddy Dean.
Yeah.
I listen to his podcast.
Check that out.
Again, Dean's a good speaker, great storyteller, and he's done some cool stuff. So definitely check it out.
I was on one of those.
And yes, you were.
Nice.
Sam was a guest.
And I had this, I'd like hauntings. So I found this podcast called American Hauntings Podcast. It has been pretty good. Enjoyed that one.
No, wait, weren't you one of the guys in the shop making fun of my one podcast?
Yeah, but yours was dumb. That's different.
Yeah, because it was put Becky back on the phone.
That was.
I want to talk
the
to
over-the-phone
telling someone to
exorcism.
talk to Becky. We don't have over the phone exorcism.
That didn't count.
It
I'm
was
sorry.
good. All right, sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
it wasn't. And the last one I listened to, I found this group of guys that have been doing it. It's called The Shack.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who they are.
Like, wait, is that like that movie or the book or?
I don't know. Yeah, it's been pretty decent. I've listened to most of them so far.
Okay, cool.
Not as many times as I have.
As silly as it sounds, I do enjoy listening to them because it's like sometimes because we're focused on like, okay, we got to do this or that, or we're writing something down a little bit, and I do miss a little bit of stuff. Like Andy was saying something about nobody whacked Sam for the snorkel comment, and I was like, wait a minute, how did I totally miss that?
I missed it too.
That's what I mean. So I really do like to come back and listen to our podcast.
I can do it too.
Water crossing.
Up, bro.
So I agree with you, Sam. The Shack, man, that's a good one.
I don't even know what snorkel comment you're talking about.
Me neither.
Scott said that the snorkel cost more than Red did when Nick was talking about buying it.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a little weird when you like are downstairs doing something and you come upstairs and you hear all of us talking because your wife is listening to the podcast in the house.
Just a little, that would be off-putting a little bit.
That's good.
So my YouTube list, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. Of course, the first one is 4-wheel drive action from our buddies over in Australia.
Right on.
I watch Mountain State Overland from time to time, Blue Ridge Overland Gear, and Trailspin TV. He used to post a bunch of stuff. He did a trip on the Continental Divide, I believe, in his JKU, and documented the whole way. That was pretty cool.
That sounds familiar.
He hasn't posted a whole lot here recently. My buddy that I went to school with has a YouTube channel for his fishing and his hunting and stuff like that called Codeman TV.
Good man.
And
You got to say that cool like that. Good man.
Right.
boy, that's all the YouTube channels I really watch. And I watch, let's see, Burn Notice with Nick, and sometimes by myself. I have watched that series like 7 or 8 times.
You watch it multiple times.
Oh yeah, it doesn't get old.
Oh jeez, you're like your dad, Ghost Hunters.
Huh?
You're like your dad in Ghost Hunters.
Yeah. Well, I don't watch it quite that often.
You don't watch movies over and over again or TV shows over and over again, LT?
Sometimes, like Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, I watched multiple times.
I don't even know what that is. I've worn out DVDs with some movies.
Wow.
Fine.
Nick,
You just watched
saying.
Roadhouse. You got to go
turn in
watch
your man card.
He's like, nobody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Before to school. That's a great movie.
What are you doing? We don't need to use semaphore and sign language.
Hey, we're taking Sammy's time. All right, Sam, sorry.
You ready? Where was I? What was I talking about?
Movies and
Harley Davidson and Marlboro Man, I think.
I don't know what that is either.
You're watching Burn Notice over and over again.
You got to tell them
Wow.
about Sneaky Pete.
Oh, I forgot about Sneaky Pete. That was on Amazon Prime.
That's a
I
good
watched, I believe there's 3 seasons. That was a good show. Been watching Blacklist here lately.
one.
good.
I started from the beginning, and then I went out of town, and my mom has continued watching it, so I have to re-find where I was.
Yeah, that's a good series.
And anytime it comes on, my mother and I will sit down and watch Twister.
Solid
Really?
movie.
Yep, that is our favorite movie to watch together is Twister.
For those
How
of
about
you
that?
that have seen the last Austin Powers movie, what's your favorite Helen Hunt movie? Twister!
Yep, that's it.
Right?
Good stuff.
And then you'll love this one. Anything that has Nicolas Cage in it. Don't care what it is. He's in it. I'll watch it.
He's a
Now, if they
And
could
what's
get
your
Nickelback
favorite?
to do the soundtrack, you would have 2 reasons not to watch it.
I just had a feeling that someone was going to bring that in somewhere.
I totally
still like
forgot about
Nickelback.
your love of Nicolas Cage. I totally forgot
He's
that.
got a pillow.
No, I
How
don't.
could you forget?
what?
Don't lie.
I do not have a pillow.
Okay.
I'm like that with Tom Hanks movies. If he's in it, I'll probably watch it. I like him. No, no good. I just watched Road to Perdition. Yeah, again just a few days ago. Oh my God, that was good.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of
Okay.
like that right now with Mark Wahlberg. Kind of like
I like him too.
I dig his
Shooter
stuff.
was a good movie. I like all those
Yeah.
guys, and I try not to let politics and all that stuff get involved. But sometimes those actors, and I don't care who it is, and I'm not trying to be mean about it, they make these political comments or social statements, and it's like, can't you just act, please? I
Do
don't
your
want to
thing.
hear.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So,
All right,
Yeah.
Sammy. Sorry about that. We sidetracked again.
That's all right. About the only other thing I watch, and it's if my dad is home and has the remote, is ghost stories, and more ghost stories.
nice.
That's funny.
Cool.
That is so funny. Awesome. Right on. So those are some good suggestions. Definitely the Australian four-wheel drive action. Even if you're not in the truck, like Mike said, the cooking section. Scott, I think, said it. The cooking section is what 20 minutes of the show or something, Sam. It's
Yeah.
Depends.
And they always. I mean, they always do good stuff. Always, always, always.
All
All
right.
right, Mikey, it's me and you.
All right. For YouTube, I don't have a ton of stuff that I watch on there religiously. It's more like I jump over there when there's something that I'm looking for. But the one that I tend to watch a lot is Paul Sellers Woodworking. He's a UK guy that does like real fancy joinery and stuff like that. Because that kind of woodworking always fascinated me. And it's one of those things that it's like, when I have time and space, I'm going to get into that, but I never will. So. And then I watched that welding tips and tricks that Scott talked about, and I watched
That's a good
a couple of the guys that I watch on Motor Trend On Demand have their own YouTube channels, and I'll go over there and catch some of their additional stuff. So like Finnegan's Garage and Flying Sparks Garage, I'll have additional content over there that I'll watch. Most of the television style stuff that I watch is off of the Motor Trend On Demand app that I have a subscription to, and watch that because I like all the car shows that are on there, Roadkill and Dirt Every Day and
Yeah.
Engine Masters and
That's a
all
good
that
one.
stuff. There's probably 8 or 9 different series that I watch on there all the time. So that's usually my go-to. If I've got a couple minutes to kill, I can just turn it on my iPad or on my phone and watch it. In terms of like Netflix and stuff like that, there's a show called Rust to Riches, which is kind of a weird take on car shows in general. So they do this thing where they start with like a $5,000 or $10,000 car, and they try to get to a $100,000 car by fixing one up, trading it, getting another carcass, fixing that up, and trading it. And that's like their business model is to, over the course of like 3 or 6 months, get a $100,000 car that they can sell out of it. So it's kind of neat because there's a lot of trading and negotiating going on in addition to the car building and stuff like that. So.
What's
I've
that
watched
called?
a couple of those.
Rust to Riches?
Rust to Riches. Yeah.
Rust to Riches. Where was that up in? Is that in Canada?
No, that's in California. They're near LA, I think.
I'm thinking there's something similar to that in Canada.
There's a group of guys that I was watching a little bit on Netflix that they are in like the Pacific Northwest, and they go up to an island that's near the Canadian border, and they'll go pick cars up there. I don't think I know of one that's specifically in Canada.
Yeah, I might have to look into that.
The
again,
one
sounds similar.
that is in there on the east side of Canada is called Bad Chad Customs. That's on Motor Trend on Demand. And that's a really good show just because that dude has a really unique outlook on life. And the cars that he builds are really just kind of out there. But he's had no formal training. He's all self-taught. And he does stuff in this like town in the middle of nowhere in Nova Scotia. And I mean, like everything that they make, they have to make there. So like they're like constantly like, they wanted this nice radius that they had. They cut up a shower curtain rod and just weird, like hillbilly stuff like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then I don't know, Amazon. The thing that I always watch on Amazon if I've got like an hour and a half is a documentary called "This Is Breslau," which is they took a Unimog and they raced it in the Breslau Rally in Poland, which is like insanely hard, and it's just a really neat story to see all the trials and tribulations that they went through to do that.
Yep, that's pretty good. I've seen it.
So I think that's about it.
Well, that's a good setup, though. Yeah, one thing I've noticed here, like listening to you guys talk, no one really watches TV.
Oh, I do, or we do.
Okay.
But there's so much of we shut off our direct TV, I believe. Okay. And so Michelle's been finding other ways to watch some TV. I brought an antenna, so we do have Channel 4 for local news and stuff.
Yeah.
But we've been watching Netflix, of course, Sling. There's a bunch of like she's gotten freebie trials or something.
Pluto TV's another one.
Pluto, that's been on there. There's a bunch of them. We've been watching all kind of stuff. We just watched a really interesting show last night called Drain the Oceans. And they don't, obviously drain it, but there's a boat that can go over, like, let's say, a sunken ship. And with this different piece of equipment, they are scanning in so much detail, and then they computer build up a model of it. And so on the show, they're watching like this lake around Russia. You can watch the water go away, and there's the ship because it has now like a 3D model of it via the computer. And now they can do a little bit of forensic investigation on it, like how that ship got sunk, what was on the ship, why it got sunk. It was very interesting. And I don't know what the heck channel that was on. Might have been National Geographic, might have been the History Channel. It was pretty good though. Some secret Nazi stuff.
Here at the house, Elaine and I, we haven't had cable for a number of years. So we have 9.1, 9.2, 9.3. So I think we have our local channel. We have our local channel.
I know what he's talking about. That's right.
Channel, and then the MeTV. But there are, I could almost say for sure there are weeks that go by without us turning. rarely do we watch something. Sometimes when we're eating supper, we'll watch Modern Family if it happens to be on, or the world news. You know, the Lester Holt from 6:30 to 7 if we're cooking or something. Other than that, like to sit down and watch television or to sit down and think, oh, watch Chicago Fire, we don't do that at all.
Yeah.
I guess my biggest form of entertainment viewer-wise is YouTube. I YouTube like people Google. If I have a question, something about something,
They go hand in
I
hand.
usually go to YouTube first and then Google. You know, go to YouTube and see, like, if I'm interested in whatever it is, I go there and see, and I watch a lot of stuff, and I get that going. So YouTube for me is huge. Very few subscriptions do I subscribe to on YouTube, though, because I use it more of like whatever that day's mood is, and I can get, you know how the thing on the side of YouTube, you're watching a video and these things are over here. I can start watching a thing about a truck and end up baking bread in 20 minutes because I've gone down this rabbit hole.
Oh, we've all done that.
Yeah. So YouTube for me is my visual entertainment.
That's how I know that there are guys that have strapped a chainsaw bar to a friggin' small block Chevy for speed cutting big trees. I started watching one thing, and then here's two big redneck guys with a small block Chevrolet engine and a chainsaw bar.
So
whatever works for you.
I spend a lot of, my free time, like when I have viewing time or whatever you want to call it. And again, if I want to learn something, if I'm in a basement messing around with something and I'm like, oh man, I don't know how to do that. Again, YouTube is like the first place to go.
For sure.
So now I do have some, I guess you could call them subscribe. I love those Ultimate Adventures from, I think Motor Trend channel, Mikey.
Yeah, well, that was Peterson four-wheel drive magazine. Yeah, that's owned by
Rick Payway.
I got hooked on those, and I've just watched them, and just one after another after another. Love that.
Yeah,
of course, our Australian 4WD. I mean, how can we not love those guys? They have the best off-road videos out there. I totally love them. Another guy who I'm digging is Dirt Lifestyle. And I think, Mikey, I know you know who I mean, that young guy who went full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out Scott. Check out Dirt Lifestyle, man.
I think I did.
He's got a J truck, Sammy. He's been working on a J truck.
Does he?
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Taught himself to weld. Really cool guy. So you would like that bleeping. Is that it, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirt Lifestyle. Yeah. Give him a like. You'll like him. Bleep and Jeep. Man, I learned a lot of stuff off of those guys. Great how-tos. Tons and tons of videos. That's where we got the Vesta Shame idea, was the guys on Bleep and Jeep. So that was pretty good. Now, if I get that rare Sunday, let's say Elaine's not home, I get home from church, and I just don't want to get into anything because we don't know what's going on, I flip the TV on. I head over to Hulu, and I pick up Ancient Aliens season whatever it is, and I'll sit there and fall asleep to Ancient Aliens. I love that. That is so fun. I have a lot of fun with Ancient Aliens, man. And Elaine geeks out on it. She's like, "Are you kidding me? That's so boring." When we have now, here's something interesting for you guys who are sequestered during the COVID. Now we do this other than the COVID-19, but we have a listening party, usually on a Friday night. We have a turntable and a ton of records or CDs. And after dinner, we turn the lights down low and we'll go pick out a record each or a CD each. And then we'll sit there with her iPad and we'll put on this record. And then we'll go out and look at reviews of this record in 1970. Like the other night, we did the Yardbirds Greatest Hits and Eric Johnson Tones, like one of his first albums. So we sit and for an hour, just sit together, listening to an old record or a CD, but usually records most of the time. We did Beatles a couple weeks ago, Johnny Cash a couple weeks before that, and we just sit there, make popcorn, have a nice little, and the cool part is just like, hey, this song was written by so-and-so, and they put it on this album, and Johnny Cash didn't let June sing on. It's just, we just have a good time of doing that. But that is a
Art.
fun way to spend time, man. Just a listening party. We started doing that. We have some fun
Interesting.
doing that. I, like Nick, I spend a lot of time, if I'm not, because watching stuff, we do very little watching, really. I am a listener, though. I am big about the podcasts, and I do have a list here. And some of these, you guys are thinking, would you, you're thinking, he doesn't listen to this stuff. But I do. Now, on YouTube, I do have a bunch of motivational stuff that I watch, but I don't subscribe to them. I usually get into the shop in the morning and I'll write in motivation something, and then I'll just click on something that's 20 minutes long and just listen to it. I do that a lot. Or if I'm working and do a lot of emails, I'll put on Gregorian chants in the background just because I like to have that, kind of keeps me in that mode. But I listen to, let me see if I find my library here, podcasts. There's one called Sports Motivation Podcast. Just that's the name of it. That's one that I listen to. Bulletproof Radio. Love Bulletproof Radio. The Productivity Show. Everybody Loves Guitar. You're Opening Your Mind. Chasing Excellence. There's the Rockabilly and Blues Radio Hour. When I need just a one. There's one that's actually called Stay Positive. This guy, Sammy, is in Morgantown, West Virginia, and I listen to his podcast, and it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Muscle for Life with Mike Matthews, because I like to see what's happening with nutrition, calorie in, calorie out, that kind of guy. And then Elaine and I together listen to the Beerists. Now that's a fun one if you're into craft beer. I mean, they'll open the can. It's like you see all these unboxing videos for knives. It's kind of like that for beer podcasting.
Interesting.
So I got that going on. I got Subconscious Mind, Genealogy Guys. That's one to quite interesting. If you did not Amazon.com. What is that called? Really test you 21 and here.
Oh,
23andMe, Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
The Ancestry,
yeah. Right.
So that's one. There is a podcast out there. It's called Hang Your Own Hammock, and I dig on that one.
I like that one too. I forgot about that one earlier. Which reminds me about Shug Emery. I'm sorry, LT.
No, that's okay. No, Shug, you're right. Shug's a good guy.
He's cool.
I've
Check out
watched
his
some of them.
YouTube. Yep. Sorry.
I definitely like that. Yeah. The Bruce Lee podcast. His daughter Shannon does it, and they talk about his affirmations and writings. Really good podcast. Another one I listen to, Digging Deep with Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin. Pretty cool. So those are some of the podcasts that I listen to. And again, I listen to a ton. Dr. Wayne Dreyer, that's another one. The Conspiracy Show, they keep popping up. Because there are some that I really...
Was that one filmed in the basement too?
I don't know. Probably not. There's one that's a real one, but no. It just depends on what the day is, kind of like the mood when it gets in. Sometimes I have to have those stay positive podcasts, to get me jumping in. And then another time I just go to Pandora and put on, like I said, Gregorian chants and stand in front of my grinder. Let my mind kind of just relax and get going into the day. But I think for me, like my viewing and my listening, a lot of it really is centered around learning something, like how to weld. I'll just get so excited about that and spend 30 minutes watching how to weld videos and then Googling this, that, and the other. Building a front end for your truck or restringing a guitar, how to stretch deeper and better. I just get squirreled, and I start doing that, and then I'll start searching on the podcast side for those kind of things too, so that I got stuff to listen to that kind of coincides with my thought for the day. Man, I get squirreled so easy. I kind of go like this.
No.
Well, I mean, it can be such a deep rabbit hole, honestly. I mean, getting involved with anything anymore, there's so much information out there about everything. You can just go on and on and on and on, and it's great, but it's easy to get overloaded, I think.
It's easy if you're very tangential too to get lost.
Yeah.
Oh, Easy. Yeah, I can't even remember sometimes by the end of the YouTube session what I started with.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember what I typed in. But I have this chocolate rabbit that I really like. That's the other problem with YouTube and podcasts. They make me spend money. Because the guys will be like, yeah, you need to go to so-and-so.com and they can hook you up with this thing. And it's like, so I find myself going to Amazon and buying said product and then explaining to Elaine why I didn't need that.
Yep. David Anderson, I have to thank for owning that knife.
Oh, from a podcast?
Thing. From his YouTube, one of his YouTube episodes.
Oh, right on. It's easy to do.
Happens.
It's so easy to do. But I think for me, like regular TV, I get nothing out of it. I like to view something. Now, that's not to say that I don't like entertainment, because I like to watch all the 70s concerts, like when Jimi Hendrix had a concert, or Zeppelin, or some of the guys that I liked from the early days. I'll sit down and at lunchtime, usually, like if I'm eating, watching a concert or something. But boy, if I'm just getting on YouTube just to look around, it's usually learning something somehow.
Or when you're trying to learn just one lick of a song at lunchtime.
Oh, jeez.
And I hear this wafting.
That's low.
No. No. I know that you're learning. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. You know what? The thing is, I'm not even playing the guitar. I'm just listening to the music.
I know. I'd be
kidding.
happy if you bring a guitar in and just play the off.
Oh, there's one in there. Don't let them fool you.
There is a guitar in my office. Hey, there's headphones on your computer. You can just plug it in.
Yep.
Hey, you know
Just
the fun
kidding.
part of that
Just
whole
kidding.
situation right there, Mike? I can go, "Hey Scott," and he can't hear me.
Yeah.
But he can hear my computer.
But he listens to what you play on the computer.
Yeah.
It's just over and over. No. No.
I think that's just the moral of the whole story is Scott spends way too much time at his desk.
Ooh.
No. This is lunchtime. No.
That's good. So
Well, I wish I'd have heard that. My screen kind of blanked for a minute. and I just didn't hear Mike's comment.
You're okay. You're going to be happier.
Boy, do I have a feeling of what it was, but I guess I'll just have to
No.
go.
You have something to look forward to when you listen to the podcast now.
I guess.
There you go. What snorkel comment?
Yeah. Well, we hope this has given you guys some ideas of listen to some of the things that we've watched, listened to, or kind of do. As you can see, I don't think any of us are real TV people for the most part.
Too many advertisements.
Yeah, we do movie night sometimes, but I have to say we do listening night probably more, or something like that.
Speaking of movies, do you guys ever think that like people will go back to the movie theaters after all this?
Eventually.
You think?
Differently.
It'll probably be a while. I think the whole even concerts, the whole industry is going to change coming out of this, or even shows like going to gun shows or the Blade Show for that. Standing in line may be a thing of the past. There may be new ways of doing this. Well, it's like we did with we do the virtual shows, virtual knife shows, and we do some things, and we're going to continue to do them as we have been moving forward. But you may see more stuff in that genre, I think, coming out of this. I, for one, cannot say that I hate spending more time with my wife, because we have both enjoyed our time listening and watching some of the stuff. Now, that doesn't mean we don't spend a lot of our sequestered time separate. Luckily, I have a 3-story house, so we can be separated when we need to be, because there's sometimes that she wants to do her thing. She's a puzzler, so she's in the back doing a puzzle, and I'm playing guitar or, searching YouTube or something, killing time.
Go ahead, Scott. I know you're dying to do it.
What? LT, when you're doing that, can I come over?
No, but you know what? When I sit down to play, I'm going to send you a guitar emoji just every time. Just
there you go.
Just Skype him so he can play it in the background.
Yeah, hopefully it'll ding every single time. Like sending you the...
Honestly, it's one of them things in the office that I now miss because I can't get to the shop.
That's right. See, you're going to miss me when I'm gone. I told you. All right. Well, hey, guys, thank you for all of your support. Thank you for tuning in today. We hope we brought you a little bit of joy. Helped us kill an hour in the afternoon. We had fun talking. And plus, I learned a couple shows on YouTube that I haven't seen, and maybe a podcast or two to listen to.
Be sure to go and rate and review the podcast on whatever you like to listen to it on.
Yes, right, Mikey? Tell them where to listen.
We're on every major podcast network you can think
Wherever
of.
you get your podcast, yep.
And you can see us sitting in our houses drinking coffee and tea on YouTube. So check out the YouTube channel. There's also cool stuff there. But thank you all for the support. Let's get through this COVID-19 thing. We are going to be back. Well, they won't hear this before that, but we have a VKA Fridays at noon that we do live on Facebook, the Virtual Knife Academy. We'll be doing that this Friday, unless you're listening to this next week, and then maybe not.
Well, then you can go back and watch the old one on YouTube.
There you go. You can go back and watch them on YouTube. So, hey, so thanks for tuning in. Check out ltwrightknives.com. We do have stuff in stock if you need that. And let's get through this. Enjoy your day. Thanks for tuning in and all the support, guys. And God bless you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.